saying they would trade a third-round pick, while one general manager said a late third is, quote, a little rich. But my big brother Sam Acho is back with us. And Sam, I'm going to bring everybody to our backyard for a second, where I would come off a figurative screen and roll, and I would throw you an oop and you would go dunk it, because I know you're hot on this topic. So, big bro, how much of a pass should Jets quarterback Sam Darnold get for those teams' atrocious struggles?
He should get a hall pass, a food pass. This man deserves no blame for what's going on in New York. And let me tell you why. So I'm pretty hot on this topic. So I decided to do some research. And I went back to January 14th, 2019. And I went back and I watched the introductory press conference for Adam Gase. And everyone was high on Adam Gase. He was supposed to be the guy, the quarterback whisperer. He was going to be the guy to take Sam Darnold to this new, different direction. And now all of a sudden, the Jets are 2-14. Now, all of a sudden, the Jets have the number 2 overall pick. Now, all of a sudden, Adam Gase is gone. But you know who got left in his wake? Sam Darnold. I was going on Twitter with some Jets fans. They were saying, well, he's a turnover machine. He sees ghosts. He can't control the ball. I said, coaches' jobs are to teach. We can't keep on blaming quarterbacks and throwing them to the wolves. Coaches' jobs are to teach, are to coach. If Sam Darnold is seeing ghosts, that's the coach's fault. If Sam Darnold is turning the ball over, that's the coach's fault. Now, granted, because I understand people are saying, well, Sam, you're a player. Sam, you don't understand. I understand that players have to take a certain amount of responsibility, but here's what I will say, just for those who can listen. 70% on the coach, give Sam Darnold 30%. His only 30% is because he should have stopped listening to Adam Gase once he saw himself continue to fail. That's my say, and that's my piece, and I'm sticking to it.
I was talking to a NFL linebacker this weekend, and he was telling me that every day he would walk out of a meeting room and he would look to one of his other teammates because they didn't agree with anything the coach would say, and the older, savvy veteran would look at him and say, overcome coaching, bro. Overcome coaching. See, what y'all at home don't often realize is just because you made it to the NFL as a head coach does not mean you an NFL quality coach. And I think that's what we're seeing with Sam Darnold. I grant Sam Darnold near complete immunity, and I look at it for a couple reasons. First, Sam, I got to attack Todd Bowles. I know Todd Bowles is your defensive coordinator. I know Todd Bowles is a brilliant defensive mind. But Sam Darnold's first year in the NFL, Todd Bowles was his head coach. Sam Darnold's offensive coordinator was Jeremy Bates. Had only been an offensive coordinator in the National Football League for 1 year, and that was 8 years prior. Now let's talk about Sam Darnold recently, because let's not go too much into history. Last year, the Jets had no receivers that had ever had 1,000 yards in the National Football League. The year before, the Jets had one receiver that had ever had 1,000 yards in the National Football League. It was Demaryius Thomas, who hadn't had a 1,000-yard receiving season since 2016. And the year before, the Jets had, again, one receiver with a 1,000-yard receiving season. That was Terrell Pryor, who never started a game for the Jets. So the question truly is, how much help is Sam Darnold getting, and how much help has he ever gotten? And the answer is an abundant and resounding none.
Yes, it's absolutely done. And honestly, like, here's why I'm here. I just want people to be able to understand what's going on. Everyone is saying how bad that Sam Darnold is, right? But before, 2 years ago, he was this superstar. Everyone's also saying how bad Jared Goff is. Jared Goff, all of a sudden, is this really bad quarterback. So let's ship him off to somewhere else, right? We have to stop taking the easy route. The easy route is to blame the players. You were a first-round pick. You're supposed to be successful. You got to overcome everything. Stop doing that. We got to start looking at the coaches, the general managers, the decision makers who are saying, hey, we need to get these guys some weapons. Stop blaming just this 22-year-old quarterback and saying you got to do it all. I remember for me in 2017, just to your point, Emmanuel, about overcoming coaching, it was a contract year for me. I was on a 1-year veteran contract. They called it a veteran minimum prove it deal, prove your worth. Long story short, what the coach was telling me wasn't working. And I said, you know what? Sorry, coach, I love you, but I'm going to do what works for me, because I know me. This is my 7th year in the NFL. I need to go out there and perform. And all of a sudden, I took a risk. I did what I thought was going to work within the confines of our system and our scheme, and I balled. I dominated, earned myself a pretty lucrative second contract. But it came because I understood who I was. We saw Joe Flacco have a little bit of success after Sam Darnold was benched last year. He went 3-3. We saw a little bit of success, and we're happy about that. But you know why Joe Flacco had a little bit of success? It's because he overcame Adam Gase. He overcame coaching. He said, hey, Adam Gase, I get you and I feel you and I'm with you, but this works. Last example, Nick Foles, Emmanuel, a friend of yours, right? Nick Foles, he was in Chicago last year. And we all remember when Mitch Trubisky got benched and Nick Foles was starting at quarterback. And Nick Foles was playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Nick Foles had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on their heels. He was running the offense, doing it his way. He loved it. Then all of a sudden, there was a little bit of an altercation, an interaction, a discussion, an argument with him and the head coach. Nick Foles said, hey, I know what I'm doing. I want to do it my way. I've won Super Bowls. Let's make it happen. Yet sometimes the coach does not always listen. And so if you want to be a great quarterback, want to be a great player in the NFL, and no matter what sport you play, yes, take in the coaching. But sometimes, to Emmanuel's point, you have to overcome it.
Overcoming coaching is the exception, but it is not always the norm. Jets fans, Sam Darnold, he ain't your problem. Coming up, I'll tell you who might be the Lakers' problem. Because Lakers Governor Jeannie Buss, she out here talking crazy to these Nets. She told the Nets,